Hi everyone, welcome to prompt number, what are we up to? 3. So I'm here to reveal the prompt, and our prompt, you might get a hint from this, is going to be vegetable garden. So you can do a vegetable garden, and the other thing we thought you might like to do, if you want to, you could put a scarecrow in your garden. So vegetable garden and scarecrow. Yeah. So I'm going to show you a couple of things about where I got my idea from, and the way I make this work is probably going to be a little bit of a blend of a few different things. So firstly, I have this lovely book on Encyclopedia of Ribbon Embroidery, Fruits, Vegetables and Herbs, and it's by Deanna Hall West. I've got another one of hers as well, another ribbon embroidery one. And I thought I could do my veggies with ribbons. I do have lots of ribbons, but I'm going to get inspiration from her veggies. So let me flip to the page where the veggies are. Where are they? I think they're in the middle here. Here are the veggies. Sorry, it's shiny pages, so you're going to get some light on. But what I want to do is I want to take some inspiration from the different shapes. Like I love the cauliflowers, the carrots, the cabbages, etc. So I'm going to take inspiration from the veggie shapes from this book, but I'm not going to do them in ribbon. I'm going to do them in stranded cotton. Okay, so lots of lovely veggies there. And then the next thing I want to show you is where my main inspiration is coming from. Now, I found this image on, let me see, sorry, let's lighten up my screen. I found this image on Pinterest. Can you see that without the ring light shining on it? And I love this vertical view of like garden plots, garden allotments, I think this is called, micro summer allotment. It's a PDF. I'm just going to click on it and show you that it's from a girl on Etsy called Sewn. Bring me over a bit. Now let's focus you. Okay, that's better. Sewn by Colette Kinley. I'm going to link this down below. This is her pattern, and I have purchased the pattern. So this is what I want to do. I want to do allotments like this and make it into my veggie garden because I think that is super cute. Look, I love that lovely texture. All right, so that is my inspiration. The pattern, I'm not going to follow it perfectly. Her pattern will actually lay out each block exactly how to stitch it into a hoop like this. And I think it's very tiny stitching because I think that hoop is only small. Does it say? Where was it? I did see it. Item description, 4-inch hoop. So that is very tiny stitching. Mine is going to be inspired by this, using sort of ideas from the pattern, but also inspired by my veggie garden book. Okay, so let's have a look at what I'm doing. So what I've done with my friction pen, I have just sketched out some rough blocks. And what I want to do, this is a really good chance if you would like to try some different stitches, to do different types of stitches that are meant to represent your veggie garden. So that's my plan. I've got lots of threads. Like this bag was full and it was only $4 of lots of green ones. I've put a lot onto like these cardboardy and plasticky things. But they were, except for that little bit of blue, they were all green. So I'm going to use a lot of this. And I thought today what I would do is I'm just going to maybe attempt to do one of my garden blocks. And because this is my friction pen, I will iron it and it will disappear. So my other thought is I think I might do a little scarecrow. So I've got lots of blocks sketched out, and I think in this corner up here, I might even do a little scarecrow coming out of that garden there, because that would be fun. It'd be fun to do a scarecrow. But you don't have to do both. You can do one or the other. It's up to you. Now, as you can see, the dimension of my veggie garden is quite small and my door is quite big. I am not making a realistic garden. My garden is all different shapes and sizes. It may not flow perfectly, but I think once I'm fully done, it will look okay. So I'm okay with that. All right, so let's just start with a simple one like this. One sec. I'll be back with you in one sec. I want to get my pattern that I bought so I can get some of the ideas. Okay, I'm back and I'm organized. So I'm going to work on this little block here. I've threaded up a variegated thread, green thread, because I want to get some different color. And the first thing that I'm going to do is a little patch of maybe something like Brussels sprouts, and they're going to be French knots. So coming under, I've got a milliner's needle threaded up. The milliner's needle, for anyone who hasn't heard about these before, it's a very long needle. It's very good for any kind of wrap stitch. So if you're doing bullion stitch, French knots, etc. Because the eye is the same width as the needle, it doesn't go out a little bit like other needles tend to do. So it's easier to pull through. So I'm doing 2 wraps on my French knots, and then just down, not through the same hole, but just next to where my first hole was. Okay. So let's do a bunch of French knots and see how we get some variation in color because of the thread. In fact, what I think I'll do is I'm going to do my knots a bit all over the place so the colors get mixed up even more than waiting for it to gradually change color if I went across. So this is going to be a little patch. Just checking that I'm on camera, yes. So 2 wraps and then down next to where I came through. I've actually done something similar to this. I know I've shown it on camera before, I just can't find where it was, but I did a class it was Amy Grant, and it was a sweet little, we had a little tiny hoop, maybe about 4-inch hoop as well, or 3-inch, I can't remember, it was really little. And we did lots of little stitches, different types of stitches, and it did resemble very similar sort of style to the pattern I just showed you, where we did different stitches in a very small circle. And ours was, I guess, a little bit like a coral garden in the sea, and it was fun because you had fun with threads and stitches. So it's a similar concept to what I'll be doing with my little veggie garden. Okay, so I'm moving randomly to spread out this pale colour so I get some nice, I unthreaded my needle, so I get some nice, you know, colour mix across this little plot of veggies. So I guess as I go, I won't do fully realistic, everything super realistic in terms of the veggies. You'll certainly be able to probably look at it and think it's a veggie garden, because it's just going to be little stitches, but changing the colours of threads and styles of stitches will hopefully make it look like a veggie garden. So I literally just found the pattern by searching on Pinterest, and I found several pictures of this style, and then it led me to the fact that it was actually a pattern. So I thought it was a good thing to do, to get the pattern, and eventually I might do the exact thing. But it was what the idea appealed to me a lot to try this, so that's why I'm doing it. Sorry, my voice is a bit funny. I'm not sick. I had a huge day at work today. It was our first official day back at school, and yesterday just Year 7 came in and some of our new boys, and then today we had the rest of the school, and I have had such a busy day just organising kids and sorting out problems, and I taught lots of lessons almost all day in class as well, and then I've just been out to dinner with some friends who live in my building, and my voice is just, I've been talking too much basically. I need to shut up. So maybe I should stop talking to you and stitch in silence. Leave you in peace. Alright, it's probably boring if I don't talk. It means you can fast forward my video and just, you know, watch the stitching on speed play. I hate to tell you to do this, but I watch my sister Rachel on speed play. Sorry, Rach. About sometimes 1.5, sometimes 1.75, and it's actually quite funny. It's funny to speed people up and listen to them. I'm time poor, so I watch you all on speed play. So if you have videos, you're probably speaking really quickly in your videos when I watch you. Although in saying that, I honestly don't watch that many videos because I just don't always have the time. I try to save ones that look appealing to watch later, and then I can come back to them when I've got time. I do try to watch you, Rach, though. I don't get every video every day. I definitely watch all your Down the Garden Path videos or your Roxy's Journal of Stitchery videos. I definitely try to watch those ones, and then some of your paper ones, and sometimes I do catch up and get through lots of them. It's kind of a bit awkward sometimes just stitching down onto a table like this, but hopefully I'm staying on screen. The good thing is having the mat under means I can just push my needle straight down into the mat for the French knot. So I'll just show you what I mean. So as I wrap, I'm trying to lay it flat so you can see what I'm doing. And then I can put my needle in and just poke it down to the mat until it's taut. And then I can pull it up and pull it through. Okay. I think you have a good idea about the French knots. I'm just going to pop the camera off because I'll probably be quicker at stitching these ones down, and I'll come back and show you the next stitch that I'm going to use. Okay, so I'll see you in a minute. Should I just show you close? French knots all random. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, my little Brussels sprouts are all done. Now what I'm going to go on to is maybe these could be some leeks or something like that, or some sort of leafy lettuce coming out. I'm going to do some checky work loops. So I bring my thread up. I'm going to go just next to it, and I'm going to create, hang on, it's got a bit tangled. Okay, I'm going to create a little loop, not so high, a little bit smaller, and then I come up again and I do a little stitch. Let's loop that a little bit more just to secure it. So I'm just doing a little stitch that I'll pull down, so you'll see. So just a little stitch to secure it. So I've still got my loop up and I got my little stitch across the bottom to secure it. So I'll do another one next to it. Come through, and this is just little stitches. I'm still using my milliner's needle. Come across, it's probably about 2 millimeters across, just a small gap. Okay, pull it down, show you on the side. Pull it down till I've got my little loop about the same height as the other one, and then do a little stitch, just to secure it. Okay, so I've got two little loops. So I'm going to go along and do a few rows of loops to fill in across here, and I'm trying to give it a bit of dimension, so having it up in the air a little bit. Pull it down to get my little loop, and then I can hold it down and I do my anchor stitch. And with turkey work you can obviously make your loops a lot bigger, and then you can trim them and they'll be all fluffy, and I think I will do that technique in another spot, but with this I'm just going to leave little loops. It'll look better once I've done several rows and the gaps are filled in. Okay, it looks a bit funny, but it'll be better when there's more. Okay, I'm going to turn the camera off, do a little bit of turkey work, come back and show you how it looks. So see you in a sec. Okay, so all my little loopy bits are done, and now I've done some extra stitching, and so all this one is, I'll show you, is a split back stitch. So stitch forward, come forward, ready to do the back stitch, and instead of going down there where the other stitch is, you split the stitch by putting your needle in the middle of the fibers. Okay, and then you can come forward again for your next stitch, just coming forward a little bit, and then splitting my previous stitch when I do my back stitch. Okay, so I'll just show you, just turn it, I'd like to do it in this direction because I'm going to show you in a sec. So hang on, let's get my door out of the way. Okay, so I've come forward a little bit for my stitch, back stitch, and then I can come straight into my stitch immediately, and it's quicker. So split my stitch and perform my next back stitch, or create, not perform. Come forward a little bit for my next back stitch. Whoops, sorry, bumped my light. Forward. Okay, so I've done quite a few rows. It almost looks like it's similar to weaving, like a weaving texture. Okay, I'll just finish off this row, and I think that's enough of the back stitch. It's filled in a good amount of space. Okay, and that will do me for that little part. I was thinking you could even have a little bed of green and then do little red French knots like it's strawberries growing in your little garden or something like that. Okay, so everything, sorry, I need to pin my door down. It's getting in the way. Just going to pin it down so it stops flapping open. Stay there, door. Okay, so let's see what my next little stitch is going to be. Okay, I'm going to bring them down horizontally, and it's okay that your garden bed, like mine's coming out a little bit. My back stitch has pulled the fabric in a bit, but that's okay because my garden beds are not perfectly straight. so let's pick another colour. Maybe a bit of variegated. Okay, sorry, I'm just threading up my needle. Ugh, it's proving difficult. Sorry, give me a sec. Okay, so I'm going to run down this way now, and I think I'm going to do some turkey work that I will end up trimming. So I'm going to leave it a little bit longer, oops, a little bit longer, and hold it down out of the way, and then I will end up trimming it. Okay, so you do your loopy stitch, and then I can hold it down, do my little back stitch to hold it in place. Okay, so a big loopy stitch. Hold it down out of the way and do my back stitch. Okay, so I'm going to turn off the video again. I'm going to do all my little turkey work down the side here, and then I'm going to trim it. Okay, I'll come back and show you that soon. Alright, so here we go. Finished my first little block. I did my loopy lettuces and a little bit of stitch in there, and then I did chunky French knots with little green loops as the stems. So even though that looks really small and there's not a lot of stitching, it actually took a really long time. I also put some little green seed stitches in between the carrots as well. So that's the first block down, and I've got lots more to go. I'll just gradually work on them and show you a bit more progress in next week's video. So thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing your ideas for your vegetable garden. Okay, bye.